neighbors, it's Brad here from eTrailer, and today I'm in Elkhart, Indiana, the RV capital of the world, and I'm here with Austin from MORryde. Austin, what is MORryde?
Yeah, so MORryde's been around since 1966. More or less, we are a big supplier of high-end aftermarket RV components.
I've got to install a lot of their products. They're all fantastic. I'm not just being biased. And today we got to see them made. So we're going to take a closer look at some of the products and what you guys have to offer. So Austin, when it comes to towing larger trailers, fifth wheels, predominantly it's kingpin, fifth wheel attachment, and you get a lot of chucking, porpoising, metal to metal clunk, but that doesn't have to be that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's common in the industry is what we would consider a rigid or steel pin box. It is the direct connection point from the trailer frame to the bed of the truck. And so anytime you hit rough roads, which is very common, you can ask anyone, what's the roughest road in the country? Everyone's going to argue about it. Everyone agrees that roads are rough today. So we're taking care of the rough roads and what you feel inside the towing truck, because what we do is we disconnect the top and the bottom of the pin box, and then we put a rubber block that runs the full length of the pin box on the inside here. So instead of metal on metal contact, the slamming, porpoising, chucking, bucking, clunking, whatever you want to call it, we take care of that because the rubber shear spring on the inside is actually going to act as a shock absorber that's going to move forward and backward up to 3 inches and then 1.5 inches from side to side. So again, not completely eliminating that harsh chucking, but it's going to take care of the large majority of it.
Yeah, I had actually the availability to install this recently, and originally it was just a Rhino box. And super easy install, just kind of unbolt, bolt back up, and once we hooked up, took it out on our parking lot, we hit speed bumps. It's not a transfer plate or a rough highway, but it was enough to, normally you kind of get that truck pushing back and forth, and this just absorbs it.
Yeah, that's the goal. That was our original intention. Again, we take the original shear spring design that we came out with back in the 60s. We flipped it from a suspension system and put on its side, and we give you that horizontal movement that is going to completely take care of that chucking and bucking.
Well, and it takes the shock away from not only the truck and the people inside of it, but also your contents inside of your camper.
Yeah, we've had people install this here at our factory, leave and say that they put forgot to put dishes away and they're still on the counter after they traveled 100 miles down the road. So cool stories like that. It is one of those things that is going to protect the inside of the towing truck, and oftentimes the person that sees the biggest difference is going to be the passenger, because the driver is white knuckling going over these rough roads, where the passenger is probably on their phone or reading a book, not paying attention, and so they feel it in the back of their neck or in their back because the whole time they're doing this without realizing it, where this is going to again smooth that out completely.
So, and then I see this white, is that a polymer?
Yeah. Yep.
What does that do?
These are called the glide pads. So as, again, the bottom skid pad is connected to your hitch, these glide pads will move forward and backward as they're gliding along the bottom of that skid pad. So what we call it is a dust trail on the bottom side of these white pucks. You'll actually see where they're moving forward and backward, and they'll clean off a dust trail of all the movement that's happening under that pin box. But that's going to be the pressure, that's where it's going to be sitting up and down, and that's also gliding kind of in a circular motion.
And then as far as application, you guys, you cover a lot of the main fifth wheel replacements, correct?
Correct, yeah. There's a variety of different makes and models that we will retrofit. For example, if you have a Lippert 1621 or a Lippert 1116, 1716, a Rhino pin box, you name it, we have a replacement for it. There's a fit chart on our website or on eTrailer's website, and then there's a secondary way to figure out which pin box is right for you, the customer, and that's by taking a few different dimensions of your bolt hole pattern, the length as it ranges from the kingpin to the front row of holes. There's a way to kind of figure all that out. We also have different densities of rubber block on the inside, depending on the weight of your trailer. So a lot of people think bigger and heavier is better. It's not really the case with our suspension system. We would say go off of our fit chart and figure out what gross vehicle weight rating you have, figure out the number or the durometer or density of rubber block that is associated with your weight rating, and then order it accordingly. So for instance, if you have a 12,000 pound trailer, you want to make sure you get the appropriate spring for the 12,000 pound trailer. If you have a 20,000 pound trailer, you want the appropriate spring for that. So you don't want a really heavy spring for a light trailer or a light spring for a heavy trailer. It's kind of like Goldilocks. You want it right in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, maintenance long-term, is there any?
There's very little. We call it maintenance free. The only thing over time that wears out is that big rubber block that on average lasts 10 years or more. Those little white pucks, usually same thing, can last a number of different years. But as far as year-to-year maintenance, there's no maintenance to it at all.
10 years, that's more than most people keep one camper. You know, they're already upgrading at that point. But, you know, and that's the thing is like, a lot of times when people buy campers, they go, well, it is what it is. That's how it goes down the road. Just get used to it. But that's not the case. You can truly get a much better ride with something like this.
There are always options out there. You can stick with what you got, or you can pay a little bit extra and actually truly enhance the ride quality.
So we actually got a chance to see these made today, which is really cool. The quality that you guys have at the facility is fantastic. Austin, thank you so much for taking the time to show us the MORryde rubber pin box.
Thank you.